There we go.
You've become Waluigi.
Have I now? I probably have. All right. Away we go. Off to get some candies. I want to go back down this way. And then just curve this away. So I can then go forward like
so.
this. Yeah. Alright. So I guess this is officially the beginning of the July vlog.
Hello, July.
Yeah. Both because it's... Whoa, hello. Both because it's the first and also because the June vlog is done.
So you're gonna have me for a bit of July.
Yeah, that'll be fine. It'll be fun.
Guest starring Charles Art.
Before I let you resume with the funny and amusing car stuff that happened at the very beginning of this month with Charles, I suppose it's time for some updates. I did T8 week, which was a fun thing, and the Cypher campaign is underway, as is Charles's Besom campaign, which is itself so far quite fun. But this week has felt like a month, and this month has felt like a year. And that seems to be a consistent pattern right now, which I don't like, but it's whatever. The goal going into August, I haven't come up with one yet. I'm going to find one. I'm taking essentially the first week creatively off by taking off air quotes. I am going to just find a thing that makes sense to do, creative-wise, and I think September I'm going to turn into another synth challenge. I think September is going to be essentially 4 weeks of messing with 4 different synths, and at the end of it I'll have 4 different 7-track EPs, will be the idea. And now, I don't know. August is going to be weird, man. It really is. There's so many different things going on in August that I don't totally get. I don't know how they're going to work out. I don't know what's going to end up happening. But it's a thing. In a bit of a weird headspace now, just because there's been creative friction, conflict, question mark, between myself and other folks. Some of it's my fault, some of it's their fault. It's just everybody's frazzled. Everybody's either frazzled or burnt out or something, and it's just like, we all need some semblance of stability. So, I'm putting all the me complaining about stuff at the front of this vlog, so you can have all the funny, amusing car vlog stuff between me and Charles at the end, and you can just enjoy it. It'll be a fun time. And once I figure out what the next challenge is, I'll let you know. I might actually start doing some talkie heads type videos, just because that's a thing. I don't know. I've written essays and whatnot on stuff so far, but I haven't put any of it to video, and not a lot of it is in places where people can see and or read what I'm talking about. So I'll put something like that together at some point soon. Maybe. I don't know if y'all want to hear me pivot from being the January synth guy to the, I don't know, video essay-ish guy. It's not like I'm going to stop doing the synth thing. It always perpetually weirds me out whenever someone spots me walking by with a camera in my hand. I'm still not used to that, because it feels like it's one of those things they're going to judge me for. I don't know. You know what? I'll leave it up to y'all. If you guys want me to talk about the nowhere planks that I've been picking up, that might be a thing I'd be willing to do. So if that's a thing you want, let me know, and I'll make the vid. Anyways, I've gone on too long already. It's time for a funny car conversation, and then I'll consider this the June vlog. The August one will be more well put together, since things will be slightly less chaotic, and I'll hopefully be able to string things together in a more coherent format. Alright, cheers. It's car time. So we're gonna go get candies, because nom nom. I still have the mints at the house.
Yes, you do. You should probably take them out of that bag.
I keep forgetting to, and then the result is that the mints are still there. It's fine, but yeah.
They're gonna do that thing that Junior Mints do, where they kind of melt and then they stick to the inside of the box, and then you open the box and they don't come out of the box because they're melted to the inside of the box.
Yeah, Milk does do that too.
That is like everyone's people who like mint candies will cite like Junior Mints is really good, and don't get me wrong, they taste good, but that is the reason that I cite for why Junior Mints just suck. Because they stick to the inside of the box and they don't come out.
That's true. I think that's just due to the way they're packaged, though. Because like any chocolate candy that does that does that.
No, but Raisinets don't. Raisinets never do that.
Really?
Yeah, never seen them do that. Like maybe you'll get one or two that are stuck in there. It's a combination of the way they're packaged, the fact that they're not packaged in a plastic bag inside of the box, and the fact that they're big enough that when they're on end, they are big enough to get stuck in the box. Raisinets are smaller, and so they don't get stuck like that. They can get stuck together and they form a little clump, but then you can shake them out a lot easier.
I guess that's true.
Fucking sugar connoisseur over here. No, if you want a good mint candy, peppermint patties. Junior Mints, awful. Peppermint patties, that's the good shit.
You're gonna be able to grab some baked beans, bring it back to the family, because they're gonna want some. It's one of those things where like I'm here often enough that I remember what's where. Yeah, go around me, truck.
One day you will be here more often.
Well, if I'm lucky, what I'll do is when the time comes for things to get renegotiated with the new owner of the new company, if that does happen. That's highly illegal what you're doing.
Wackos. All of them. A lot of them.
Yeah. Anyways, if time comes, I should hopefully be able to negotiate for an actual like decent pay and hopefully 3 weeks of vacation. Because there apparently used to be a rule where if you're a manager, you get 3 weeks of vacation, and I didn't get my third week of vacation. I also just happen to think that like only 2 weeks of vacation a year is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's just me, but that's one of those things where it's like, hey, look, we own, like, this much of your time already. Like, I don't know. The more I'm thinking of it, like, the more... I'm not one to sit there and be like, oh, let's just emulate everything the Europeans do. But there are a certain number of Europeans
there are certain
have
European customs that work quite well.
And the work-life balance thing that Europe has had going on for a long time is something I actually think we should start emulating. Because then we'll have people not be collapsing nearly as much.
I mean, ultimately, the dream, for us in particular, is that we will be able to we'll be able to build up enough capital and start our own thing, and then the work-life balance will be okay. Well, it'll be a lot worse, but it'll at the very least be working for ourselves,
And I think
it'll be doing things that we
we'll find it a lot more fulfilling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as long as we can make it sustainable, money is not important.
Yeah, so long as we can make it sustainable and we have a semi-comfortable living situation, then yeah, we'll be fine.
Here. Financial tips from Charles Ard. And this may seem rather intuitive, and if it is, you can feel free to ignore me. But money is, at the end of the day, equal to time, right?
Yep.
Money is you spending your time working for someone else who then gives you something that you can use to save time later on. Example, you want to buy a shirt. You could, if you wanted to, grow a bunch of cotton, get a cotton gin, get some of the other equipment,
I mean, most of the shirts
make
these
your
days are,
own
like,
shirt.
polyester and shit,
Well,
'cause it's
but
faster, but
That's,
still, you'd have to
that's
sit there,
irrelevant.
make the fiber, make the thing, sew the
You
shirt,
could
do
do
the
all
thing,
that,
dye the
or
shirt.
you could do something for someone else for a little while. Then you have, I don't know how much things cost, $10, and then you could buy the shirt from someone else. That's probably an unrealistic amount of money, but it's not about the number, it's about the principle.
Yeah, the Goodfellow shirts at Target are like $10, $12, something like that. That's not that unreasonable.
Well, it's not.
It's relatively
It's
cheap,
about the
but
principle,
it's-
not
yeah.
the money cost.
Yeah, no.
It's about the concept behind the money.
Yeah. Man, I remember when there was like a huge discrepancy between gas prices between where you are and where I am.
Yeah, they
And,
kind of caught up, huh?
They caught up here. They haven't quite caught up, but they're getting damn close. They're within 10 cents of each other now.
And we need to stop at Target on the way back
Okay.
for a measuring cup to sacrifice to the chemicals.
So the chemical gods.
No, just the chemicals. There are no gods. This
Only
place is a
monsters.
godless land.
Damn, is that why? Is that why everybody hates Boston?
Yeah. That and the cow paths. The street layouts in Boston are insane. Because in a place like New York City, you've got grid-like streets. It all makes sense, and you could relatively follow, at the very least, a zigzag to wherever you want to go.
Okay,
For the
kind of
most
fair.
part.
Yeah, it depends on what part of New York City you're in, but
In
fair.
Boston, all of the roads are historical. They're based on where farmers walked their cattle back in the olden days, and therefore they're all over the fucking place. And so you have weird street junctions that are literally just like 30-degree angles, and then someone decides to build a house on that with this fucking pointy corner.
Pointy corner.
And like, how do you make use of that space? You can't do anything with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Boston's
them-
fucked up.
Them be some big clouds.
They're good. They're good clouds.
They're good clouds, but them be some big clouds. We have officially entered out of the shade of clouds. I don't need these anymore.
I still need mine.
Okay. Just because your eyes are weak.
No, it's because I want to be cool.
Fair enough. So I don't know what my next major creative project should be, I guess. Like, part of me is like, hey, I should go back to doing music. The other part of me is like, hey, I should start doing drawing stuff. But I feel like maybe I should leave that for August just because July is going to be fucking weird.
Yeah. At some point, we need to both sit down and learn Godot.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if Godot does Mac. Are they on Mac? They kind of have to be.
Probably have to be, I think. It'd be worth learning how to do it either way.
Yeah.
hello, Slow Bicycle Man.
And there's tabletop stuff. You can help me with tabletop
There is
stuff.
tabletop stuff. Oh, we are out of the shade of the shade of the clouds. These are going back on. Am I that much of a dweeb? Yes. Do I care? No.
You're a dweeb?
I still want to try and figure out... I should start building the Cypher campaign for you, but I still want to figure out... I hope that was the truck in front of us. But also at the same time, it's scary if that was the truck in front of us. I want to try and figure out how Steel Hearts works. Have you heard about Steel Hearts? Did I tell you about Steel Hearts?
No.
Steel Hearts is apparently one of the other indie mecha TTRPGs that exists.
Oh, yeah, no, you did tell me.
Yeah, it's very different. I found it by way of 11 Dragon Kid through a visual gag in one of the Trash Talk on Lancer videos, which was quite funny. Because the concept behind a given attack for the Viceroy is funny. Is simple, but also it was funny because all of the rules mechanics of said attack being what it is, right, means there's a good, 10 seconds where Dragon Kid has to freaking explain the rest of the rules, right, while things are going on. And so the visual gag that they snuck in was, hey, here's this thing. It has all of its, bajillion community copies that are for free, left unclaimed. You should give it a read. It's a cool TTRPG, and maybe you might also like it. And I was like, okay, bye, things explode now. And then things exploded because, it's the Viceroy. So, yeah.
Yep. The Viceroy, aka where the fuck does a pilot fit in that thing?
I mean, it is a Smith Shimano Corpro.
Yeah,
frame,
the others
so...
the others are at least, have some space in there.
True.
You look at the Atlas and tell me that thing does not.
The Atlas is a glorified hardsuit and it's expressed as such.
Yeah. And then there's also the...
Same with the Caliban.
Yeah, well, the Caliban's not sexy.
Maybe.
That's literally part of the lore, is that Smith Shimano knows their customers.
That's true. That is true. The Caliban is, in fact, just brutal efficiency. I do want to try and run a Lancer campaign at some point. I might try and run it for a couple of my brothers at some point, just to see how things work for them.
Yeah. I should dig through 4E and try to run that. There's also, we found an old Adventure Time tabletop system that was half designed that we could probably design the rest of.
Maybe. I would not be opposed to doing a solo campaign in 4E or whatever. That might be fun.
Okay. And there is also Besom, which we need to look into Core Book 4.
What version of Besom were we playing with back when?
Probably 1.0.
Were we playing with 1.0?
Well, because here's the thing, right? The version of Besom that we played with was all theater of the mind. There was no mechanics in combat. It was just a glorified character builder.
Oh, that's true.
So it's probably pre-alpha.
That was also 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And this isn't Paizo. This is Besom's an indie RPG, TTRPG, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly. So that, oh man, that would be intriguing. I would love to try that and just
see how far it's come.
And then see how much we can just drop TKT back into it. That was fun. That was a fun campaign. I still like all the characters that are involved.
I think it would be fun to revisit the Umeniki inspired thing that I did for you and Mike way back when.
Oh, that might be fun.
But hand it to people who Look, I'm gonna put it in the most bluntest way possible, but
Okay.
know that I mean this in a. No, I'm just gonna say this bluntly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand it to Homestucks and see what they do with it.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's what Alex, Zeron, and Overlord are. That's how they met.
I still feel so bad that I kept mixing up which one was running which mech.
In fairness, they sound the same.
They sound very similar, and I haven't picked up
They're the same person.
differences between their voices yet. So I know what characters are in what mech, but I don't know. I keep mixing up who's which one. So, like, I still feel bad about that.
I just speak with vague enough language that it could be either of them, and then they never pick up on it.
You know, that's fair. I will at some point learn. It's just,
I do the same
it's
thing.
only been 5 sessions now.
I do the same thing with pronouns, where I'm not sure what people's pronouns are. I'm just very vague about it, and I will just I'll just use I won't use any pronouns. I'll just use their name until I figure it out.
Until you figure out what it is, yeah.
And once you pick up that I'm doing this, you'll probably never notice me not doing this.
If it works, it works.
I mean, I'm never gonna misgender someone doing this.
Yeah.
Although I feel like somebody's gonna get pissed off eventually. Like, yeah, you never used my pronouns. I'm like, I don't know your pronouns because I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's not that I'm an asshole. I'm just really stupid.
Oh boy. What should I do? I think maybe I will do music. Do you think it would be nuts to do like a D&D theme thing a week?
What do you mean a D&D theme thing?
Well, okay, because do you remember the thing I mentioned launching in the beginning of the month before I realized there was no Bandcamp Friday this month?
There's no Bandcamp Friday? There was
no Bandcamp Friday this month, yeah.
Oh.
There's one next week because they have to plan them in advance, and it's a whole thing. So they're trying to still do them, but yeah.
I bought a bunch of music.
That's fine.
What I thought was Bandcamp Friday.
Well, again, here's the thing, right? If you buy anything on Bandcamp, it is better than literally any other service
Platform.
in terms of doing better for the artist. You did fine. And I'm also not opposed to handing Bandcamp some of their money so they can do the thing again. The only time I'm not going to be wary of that is the second Epic Games decides to actually, like, fuck with their shit, which they're probably going to at some point, but until then, I'm going to be, again, 100% okay with just letting Bandcamp have some of their money.
That's fair.
Buy shit on Bandcamp. Buy shit on Bandcamp. I'm not even talking about my shit in particular. I'm talking about people's shit. If you like someone's music, find out if they have a Bandcamp, buy the shit on Bandcamp. Do it. Streaming doesn't fucking support anyone. Spotify are fucking leeches. They are the worst. They've destroyed the music business's sustainability, and they are the reason the music business is going to crash. In order to stave that off, buy shit on Bandcamp. Anyways, rant over.
Indie, good.
Not even just indie good. If any, like, even some big folks have a Bandcamp. Buy shit on there.
Yeah, and
Monster Cat has a fucking Bandcamp. Like, they have a
has a Bandcamp.
Like,
I don't know how big Mystery Skulls is, but they have a Bandcamp.
Yeah, like it's worth buying shit on Bandcamp.
But also, additionally, in addition to that, indie good.
But also indie good, yeah. Like some of my favorite artists are relatively small indie artists. Mir No Tilda's really good. I was about to say the Flashball, but I'm like, I don't know if Ben Jordan counts. Bean. They're gonna have no idea what that means. But Bean.
We're in Chicago.
I thought that Bean was in Ontario.
We're in Ontario.
We're in whichever city has Cloudgate as the Bean. As they can clearly see trees passing by.
We are on our way to spray paint the Bean with the pinkest pink.
Farewell, good sir. Are we turning here?
Yep.
Again, I slightly know how to navigate this space. So, yeah, and we're coming close to this candy space. I do really like the stuff they end up getting from here. It's like a nice little place. Either the stuff is homemade, or it's like from places where it's homemade.
It's from a third world country named Homemade, so we can legally print from homemade on the packaging.
I need to steal that joke at some point. That's funny.
It's a Homestar Runner joke.
Is it a Homestar Runner joke?
Yeah.
God damn it. It's just been the running theme of this week is just you making a joke and me going, I need to steal that, and you going, I have already stolen it from Homestar Runner.
I mean, you can steal it again. Homestar Runner is free. It's free to be enjoyed by anyone.
I know. All right, whatever.
Also, in addition to Bandcamp, go to homestarrunner.com.
Sure. Sure. So I got a thing where you can just kind of
break it. Where you can just kind of break it.
You just move the top bits around and squish the sides, and it just rolls around. It's wacky.
You see.
All right, I got a cat. It's you. You're the cat.
I am the cat.
Yeah, you are.
Felix the cat. A reference that's lost on modern audiences.
I guess so.
Boop.
Now, why would you do that?
This is fun.
Okay, then. I want to take this off so we can get going.
Yep.
But, yeah, tiny little cat
This
thing.
is funky.
Is neat. We got a ton of sweets for us to last the week. Sunglasses go on.
Or at least a couple days. Knowing me.
Fine.
And we're going to probably end up doing ice cream tonight.
That's true. Oh, we didn't check the weather.
We didn't, but we can.
Sparrow,
Easy
I need you to
enough.
move.
Huh?
There's a sparrow that's like right in front of underneath where our car is.
Right in front of underneath where our car
Yeah,
is.
he hopped in front of the car and then didn't move. I'm hoping he got out of the way. It doesn't look like I ran over a bird, so I think we're good. I go this way now.
Yeah, this is funky.
Are you now glad that I bought it?
Eh?
Okay. Have I given you the ramble about Bjorn yet? Actually?
Probably? Maybe.
The character that I'm playing for Crown and Skull?
Bjorn the something friend?
Oh, yes, okay, I have. Yeah, Bjorn Yeti friend.
Yeah, that.
He's fun.
Bjorn the Yeti friend.
So, anyways, okay, so hang on. Before we got into the Bandcamp rant, I was going to do a thing where I was going to do a D&D theme for, like, Bjorn or whatever. And also, I have a bunch of, yeah, I'm sorry, there are some receipts floating around in my car. There's a lot of stuff happening over the course of the past 2 weeks before I came up here.
Yeah, fair.
Don't judge me too harshly for it. The state of my car is the state of my car because reasons.
The state of my car is only the state of my car because I cleaned it out before you came up.
Okay. Bandcamp project thing. So I have a bunch of D&D themes floating around, right? Some of them will probably now not see the light of day because they're for characters, for people that I don't talk to as much, and there's not as much of a there's no campaign related to them anymore because that campaign is on indefinite hiatus.
No, it died.
It
straight up died.
I'm hopeful that maybe we might be able to revive our characters from it and have that be a thing that, you know, pushes along, but we'll have to see how that goes. But I ended up finishing up the themes for Ashes and Jace, right? And I put them out as an album called the D&D Project, which is entirely meant to be a place where I can make music inspired by the varying tabletop stuff that I'm involved in. So I could do a theme for things like Jackknife Callahan, or for Locke, right? Or for Bjorn, or Davey Knoll, or, whoever. And it doesn't have to be a coherent, themed album, right? It can just be, hey, this is the D&D project. This is where all the D&D inspired music stuff goes and stays. And so if you buy it once, the idea is that as stuff gets added to it, you then also get that stuff as it shows up. Which is a neat thing, and I want to continue that, and I want to make things for Endurance. So maybe I focus on the next month is like adding a couple tracks to that, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna make the goal add 3 tracks to it. But every extra track I manage to add on to that over the course of July, I think is gonna be the way to go. Yeah. I also kind of want to continue the Dice Project. I don't know if you care about me continuing the Dice Project, but I kind of want to continue the Dice Project.
I told you I might do the Dice Project.
It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to do.
Project the dice.
Project the dice. Take a picture of the dice and then put it on a projector and project it somewhere. Project your issues onto the dice, or not your issues. Project your
astrally project
desires.
the dice.
Dice have souls?
You can't prove to me that they don't.
Well, shit. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that. I do not have an answer for that. Okay, dice have souls, I guess.
Thirsty. I wish I didn't leave my coffee.
Well, we gotta go by Target next anyways, so
Yeah.
what we'll do is we'll grab, water and stuff there. Have a fun time.
We could also just drink the water at
True.
unlike the other place that I regularly spend time in.
Oh, that's true. Like, we're now at the point where both of us are at a place where we can actually just drink the tap water, because tap water is actually, good to drink.
Well, in my case, I have ground wells in both places that I regularly frequent. But the other place, back in
Redacted.
Bleep Town, the other place has a potential radon breathing. So it's like, okay, don't want to drink the tap water from there because radon.
Yeah, the section of New York that I live in has some potential links to cancer and such. So it's one of those places where, if you drink water regularly, you want to make sure you triple filter it, or correction, it's one of those things where it's disputed, where it's hey, this is a potential problem according to certain places, but other places are sitting there being yeah, except also no, because
you probably want to park
this.
in the shade and crack the windows.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna be.
We don't want our stuff to melt.
Hot. We'll see what happens when we get up there.
Dr. Strangelove is a good movie.
It is.
It's a very good. If you're the kind of person who doesn't really watch old movies because you think they're not interesting or they're kind of boring, look. Here's what I'll tell you: is that's kind of true.
The Third Man and Dr. Strangelove are 2 glaring exceptions to that rule.
Most of those movies are for a different audience with different tastes. Dr. Strangelove is a very good movie because, number one, it is still very funny, and number two, it is a look into the Cold War from a point of view of comedy. So you get to see a lot of that attitude historically represented, and as a result, it's aged
fairly well, actually.
Well, it's aged very well, but it's also aged very differently, because now you can look at it now you can look back on it as a marker for the time period and go, this is what the people were making fun of at the time.
That's true.
It's like if you went 60 years into the future and watched a South Park episode from today, you would find what people were worrying about today through that comedy. And I think that would be very interesting.
That's true.
Actually, this may not be a good example. I don't know if South Park is still running.
It is.
I figures. The only South Park episodes that I've really seen have been like some of the first season ones, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. And then there was the superhero shit from that one game where I was like, yo, but this is actually better than Marvel, though.
Which one? I don't remember which one that is.
It's the Fractured But Whole.
Oh, yeah.
That one game. I was like, there's a whole saga about that. Apparently there's a whole thing with this Mysterion. He, like, can't die because he's Kenny, and the running gag of Kenny not being able to die. Or, like, Kenny dying every single episode. Yeah. But then, like, Mysterion uses that as his superpower because he's Kenny. It is just... It's better than Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
In fairness, there's a certain way in which that's not a high bar to get over.
No, it's not, but, like...
Marvel had a couple separate instances where they managed to knock it out of the park. And... I mean, the reason Marvel was good for a while was because you had things building up to the...
to the Infinity War.
To the Infinity War, yeah. To Endgame. Past Endgame, there's not been a lot that I've liked a lot. There are some exceptions.
It's almost like, in order to make a good work of fiction, period, you need a plan for what you're gonna do.
Yeah, Star Wars should have proved that. I still have no idea how
Who could have figured that out?
Dude, I have no idea how the fuck they managed to go into the new Star Wars sequel trilogy and not have a plan.
Oh, I know exactly
made it look like they had a plan, and then they very obviously did not have a plan.
I know exactly how. Ego.
Maybe I would have expected someone to sit there and be like, cool, here is a plan. Like, there should have been a creative director. Like, Kathleen, that's the thing. Kathleen Kennedy keeps sitting there and not planning anything. She's the person in charge of Star Wars. And, like, this is the thing with what's his name? Kevin Feige? Feige? However the heck his name is pronounced. The guy in charge of Marvel always kind of had an idea as to what a plan was, right? He would always sit there and go, here is the current plan, right? And people would come to him and be like, I want to do this. And he'd be like, well, let's see how it fits into the overall, like, narrative we have going. And things would shift, but there was always a plan. There was always a means of getting to the end game, right? And there was none of that from Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars. There hasn't been any of that from Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars in years, up until Dave Filoni kind of sat there and went, hi, I'm going to take the thing and do the thing. And then he had some good stuff.
Hey, Kathleen, what do we pay you for again?
Yeah, and then the other problem is that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, despite being like Disney and Star Wars in particular as Golden Boys, managed to sit there and go like, lol, we have no plan either. Right, for a whole bunch of stuff, and let their inner fanboys.
I don't think that's despite.
Run the asylum.
I don't think that's despite. I think that's because they're the Golden Boys. They're able to rest on their laurels.
Well, I don't even think it's necessarily resting on their laurels, because it's more that they let their inner fanboys get the better of their like good writing sensibilities.
You know what? People are messy. It could be both.
It might be both, but yeah. Because
both is bad.
Yeah, both is bad. Like, Cad Bane fucking deserved better. Boba Fett fucking deserved better. Din Djarin deserved better. Ahsoka Tano deserved better. Like, god damn it.
We'll make our own space opera with blackjack and hookers.
I have space elves and orcs.
I have puppets.
And colony algae organisms.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Jelly boys.
I'm still curious as to how you kind of came up with the concept behind them. Like, what inspired the Maramoans?
You want to know the real truth? Hunters in Halo.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't think it was going to be that simple, but it is that simple? It's that straightforward?
It is 100% that simple. I looked at hunters and I'm like, hunters are colonies of worms. How do I make something that's similar to that, but also different? And so I decided, if I just make the worms smaller? And then I did a little bit of research on microorganism colonies and found an algae breed called Marimo, and I was like,
that's what it is.
That works for me.
Okay, that's neat.
So it's basically just me looking at concepts from other sci-fi stuff and being like, how can I do this but different? The Solarians equally were inspired by the Star Kids from that one Terraria in space game. Starbound, yeah.
There you go.
They're the Star Kids from Starbound, but I made them into nobility because noble gases. So it's a different spin, different flavor on the Star Kids.
Fair enough. I always found it interesting how you managed to basically take the Maragoans and be like, hi, these are hunters, but also they're Geth and they're friendly and hyper sociable, except for the fact that they're at war with like this virus thing. But no, it really was just like you were sitting there and you were like, hunters, but like what if smaller and also friendly? And then the result was Maramoans.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that that's the whole reason why Maramoans operate in pairs usually. It's because of hunters.
Okay, that's neat. I like them even more now because I was like, is this a hunters thing?
Yeah.
Once again, proving that Halo is one of the best science fiction franchises of all time. If people actually bother to fucking understand it.
Halo is...
Which every single Microsoft and Paramount exec seems to be intent on not doing, by the way.
Halo is very good. However, I think the one thing that it is lacking is, and mind you, I have not played 3 yet, but I also know that 1, 2, and 3 mostly focus on the perspective of the Chief. I would like to see more Halo content that focuses on different perspectives. That's the reason the Maramoans exist, is because I want a Halo story that is told by a pair of hunters.
You need to play ODST.
I do need to play ODST, but that's still from Earth's perspective.
It's from a very different Earth perspective, though.
Yeah, I want to know what the inside of, and we got the elites, but the elites are also just kind of like. They're elves, right?
Kind of.
They're space elves, basically.
They're space orcs, more like. Well, kind
They're
of.
They're space elf orcs.
Yeah, it's weird and complicated, because on one hand, they were the space orcs up until the brutes showed up.
And then they were the space orcs.
And then the brutes were the space orcs, but also... Yeah, I don't know. It's weird and complicated.
we get insight into the elites through the Arbiter, but I want to see the story of something that is inherently different from the way that we operate on our society. I want to see a story told by a pair of hunters. Right?
Yeah, that sort of stuff would be cool, but they don't quite do that, unfortunately, because that's the thing, is Halo is kind of the idea behind Halo is that Halo is essentially the humans existing in a galaxy where we're nowhere close to the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the thing that ODST does is it drags you back down into, you're the best non-Spartan set of characters in ODST that exist. And this series still sits there and shows you that puny Earthlings is in full effect. The only reason you manage to survive the encounter is because you're in an urban environment where you know how to navigate this space better than the aliens do. And
I still want Halo stories that focus on perspectives and stories that are apart from humans. I want hunter stories. I want Jenkins is still out there. I want a game that's focused on Jenkins, right?
I think Jenkins is dead.
Well, he was still out there as of 2. Mind you, I haven't played 3.
No,
he's a flood.
Yeah,
he's an individualistic flood by the end of 1.
Didn't he die? Oh
no, he didn't die. He got taken over by the flood, but he's still alive.
Fair. I think.
And I was like, you could do something really cool with that.
You could. In fairness, there are a lot of other perspectives for stuff from, say, Halo. Well, Halo Wars 1 was weird for a number of different reasons, but also you had Halo Wars 2 was interesting because you had the Banished. Which are really cool because they ended up going into the main games from Halo Wars 2 because people liked them that much.
I will say, if you want to see some other very good sci-fi settings that aren't Halo, look into R-Type. R-Type's lore is absolutely insane. And a lot of it comes from the 2 tactics games that exist, but you can also play the Shmup series as well. They're really cool, and I'm just in love with R-Type.
Axiom Verge also has some really kick-ass
Axiom Verge,
lore.
okay, Axiom Verge does, but Axiom Verge is very different because Axiom Verge is very reality bendy.
That's true. Axiom Verge is intentionally kind of like.
If you want the
cerebral.
Metroidvania that is hard sci-fi, that has a lot of those elements, you look at Metroid. Not ironically, you look at Metroid.
Hard sci-fi.
Oh, it is. It is though.
Hard. It's not.
It's okay. Well, it's firm sci-fi.
Yeah, maybe in some cases. Like, that's the thing, is like the reason it's not hard sci-fi is because the Chozo tech and a bunch of the other tech the Federation has is essentially magic, right?
Any technology that is
Yes, I know. Arthur C. Clarke's law. But
Yeah.
also, the second you start invoking that to a certain degree, you've stepped outside of hard sci-fi. Unless you do it in a specific context, like, say, The Expanse, which I love. Because The Expanse is hard sci-fi enough that you have to sit there and worry about the Coriolis effect and about the fact that ships blow up in shrapnel fields and you have to fly through that and it causes problems and stuff like that.
I'm still willing to sit here and say that Metroid is firm sci-fi.
Okay. I think it's pretty soft sci-fi, but that doesn't stop it from being good.
Yeah.
Right?
No, but at a certain point, all sci-fi is a little soft.
Kind of has to be. Yeah.
Anything that involves FTL travel is gonna have to be a little bit soft sci-fi. And this means that the only true sci-fi is Sluggish Moors. The Sluggish Moors is a colony ship that takes 50 years to get fucking anywhere.
Fair.
Like,
Fair. Yeah.
that's why it's called the Sluggish Moors, because they don't have FTL.
That's funny. Marathon starts that way and then ends up not being that way.
All right, crack the windows.
Anyways, I might need to play Sluggish Moors from what you've told me, due to the fact that the nature that it's like, it deals with a lot of the fun stuff that like Dune and Foundation deal with.
It does, but a lot of that stuff is subtextual. So you might not be able to like pick out a lot of that stuff.
It might be worth trying.
And there's also some moments of like where the author's thoughts about the nature of creativity come into play. Like there's an entire aside in 3, which, mind you, 3 only exists as a transition from
2 to 4.
From 2 to 4, which was not the case when 4 didn't exist when 3 came out. But 3 is easily the weakest game, based on the fact that, you know, it sort of requires 4 to exist to make sense. But there's a point in 3 where it's a cutaway to this, like, weird splash page. All of the kind that you usually see in 1 and 2, right? And it's this whole essay that shows up and is all about how by creating art, you are putting your life into the art and it's killing you, and etc., etc. And it's clearly like some of Spooner's thoughts on how art works, some of his musings.
Okay.
Something along the lines of art is torture, but not making art is even worse.
Oh, yeah. No, because he had a song about that in something at one point, right?
That was, that's in 4, yep.
Yeah, 'cause I remember you playing that for me. That was the thing.
That is Da Vinci's Coffin. That is this... It's a song about a muse who is lamenting the fact that her creator is mortal.
Yeah.
To put it lightly. Sluggish Moors is very strange like that. It puts these incredibly deep, powerful, emotionally impactful...
I can't see anything of this guy here.
songs, and then just tucks them into ordinary rooms where there's just a dude there who says something about the nature of time, and there's nothing to do there, and there's no game mechanic reason to go in there. It does not advance the story at all. But you can just sit there and listen to the song and be moved by it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
all.
what Sluggish Moors is, I think.
It's almost like games are art, bro.
Yes, and Jack King Spooner definitely treats
Treats them as such.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I need to play B-Swing and Judero as well.
Very curious about these games.
And go wishlist. What is it?
The new Scottish Highlands one that he's trying to make?
Yeah. No, it is Judero.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everyone go wishlist Judero on Steam. It's really good. It's like a claymation hack and slash looking thing. It's or maybe like a claymation top-down shooter, twin stick shooter. It looks really good.
Yeah. You know what? Who the narrator for that trailer reminds me of, right? A Scottish Bobby Fingers.
Maybe. What languages are it in? English and Turkish. That's kind of weird. Slash. Dujana. That's the other one that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Dujana and B-Swing I need to play. Judero has not come out yet, but go wishlist Judero on Steam.
Support independent developers. That's also where all the cool shit is these days.
Yeah. The cool shit that isn't trying to suck you into a dopamine loop.
There are some exceptions these days. I personally like where Capcom's been at recently as a company.
Capcom's been pretty good lately because they're both not falling into the high fidelity cult and they're not pulling as much of the suck you into a dopamine loop. They have done some like microtransaction shit in the past, like with Devil May Cry 5. But a lot of that stuff is cosmetic, and also you don't need it, and also like they haven't been doing that.
Yeah, they haven't been doing that really as much. It's also one of the things where like when they do go high fidelity, right? It's like in spaces where they can use it to proper effect with like Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Where it makes a lot of sense.
And even then, I think Resident Evil is still very stylized.
It is, but it's able to be stylized in that manner because
I think a lot of Resident Evil
hi-fi.
I think a lot of Resident Evil is atmospheric and boils down to lighting, which allows them to have lower fidelity graphics that look like they're higher fidelity because everything's low lighting.
Having seen how
that's just my guess. Having not played anything past
with the
Dark
remakes.
Side Chronicles for the Wii.
Yeah, with the remakes, right? This is specifically me saying for the remakes, the hi-fi is something they put to great effect because they're able to sit there and use that with their usual darkness tricks, right?
Yeah.
To pull off some really terrifying sequences, but they're awesome, terrifying sequences. Anyway, car vlog over. We have parked. Goodbye.
Okay, so I have figured out what my August projects are going to be, which is the thing I said I was going to do at the very, very beginning of July, which is every week I'm going to add something to the D&D project. I want to flesh it out, and also it gives me an excuse to do cool things, so I am going to be doing that. I want to keep my photography skills sharp, so I'm going to say, hey, there is going to be a photo set at least once a week, being either 3 themed photos or 10 unassorted photos, one of the two, just because it'll give me something to do. And yeah, I don't quite know what else there's going to be other than do that for now. I am possibly going to attempt to learn how to play mandolin finally, but I'm not 100% on that, so we'll have to see. Yeah. Also, I'm still on the fence about Sling Slam. I just did a clip for that, and it's not even long enough. I haven't edited in the one bit of slow-mo I want to do, but it's only 18 seconds long, and it took me forever. I can do Big Larry stuff when I'm not thinking about it or when I'm not on camera. The second the camera turns on, I just can't do it, and I hate it. Feels like that's a consistent thing. I could be competent about something until suddenly I have to do it for an audience, and then everything goes out the window. And not in a sense of like, oh, suddenly I can see all the flaws in it, in the sense that suddenly all of the skill just leaves my body. I can't do anything. So, yeah, small update, but it's an update, and it means I have something to be doing to keep me sane amidst everything else. So yeah, I'll see you all in August.